Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the FIFA Flow podcast. Welcome to season 3, episode 46 of the podcast. Today, guys, we got a few football matches from the weekend we're going to be talking about. I just watched a few of the highlights for 3 of the games. There's still a few games I kind of want to go over it as well. Like I saw a few clips on it, like online. I didn't really watch the full highlights of it, but saw a few clips here and there. There's a few games we're going to talk about there. We got a bit of news as well, football news over the weekend. Not that much, only like 3 or 2 sites I wanted to check on Twitter. Twitter what do you call it? Twitter feeds, not feed. Two Twitter posts regarding 2 separate football situations or news, you can say. And then to end off the episode, we're gonna do a Bundesliga team of the season. I want to tell you guys my team of the season for the Bundesliga. If you guys haven't checked out already, I think it was. Let's just take a look. I think it was it this episode here? Talks and more. So this was the Prem team of the season. I think it was this episode here where we talked about the team of the. No, actually no, it might have been. Downfall. Not quite sure. It could have been this one. I think it was this one. Let's just take a look. Yeah, so it's this episode here. So season 3, episode 43, we talked about the community team of the season regarding FIFA, EA Sports community team of the season nominees. 2 episodes ago, we had a video just regarding I guess the Premier League team of the season, and today we're going to be talking about Bundesliga team of the season. I think next week we're going to be having S3E team of the season from EA Sports. I'm hoping we get a leak on as well. Guys, I've still yet to do a full-on video only based on football news, so hopefully that is soon, man. I'm just so busy all the time, man, and if I talk about like a bunch of football news in this video, it's going to be so long and boring. It might already be quite long, so I don't want to make it any longer, any worse. So for that reason, like I'm still waiting to do like a full football video. But yeah, let's just go into today's podcast to talk about it today. Let's start off with the Ligue 1. Started off small. Talk about the best club in the world, of course, Paris Saint-Germain, guys. This game was on Friday, and to be fair, I think we had a pretty good game. Of course, Kylian Mbappe getting his 2 goals, brilliant goals. Man, what I will say is, I mean, yes, first of all, Mbappe is back. I feel like for the past month, I think before 2 games ago, for the past month, he's kind of been ghosting. He's kind of been frauding for us. I feel like even yes, he's scoring goals for us now, but I feel like even still after the World Cup, he's been frauding just slightly. I feel like World Cup tax does still make him the best player in the world because of what he did during the World Cup, and especially in that final against Argentina, the second man ever to score a hat-trick in the World Cup final. And it wasn't just that, it was a carry, a comeback against Argentina, 2-0 down, and it was like he carried France hard. I'm still not going to be one of those guys who say, oh, Mbappe was the only one to deserve it, because in my opinion, I think players like Antoine Griezmann, I think Varane was pretty solid. Upamecano, not Upamecano for Bayern, but Upamecano was really good at the World Cup. Varane was pretty solid. I think Theo Hernandez deserved it. So for sure, I'm not gonna say. I think Giroud also Olivier Giroud also deserved it. So personally, I'm not gonna be one of those guys who say, oh, Mbappe was the only French player to deserve it. But I think he was the one who did the most for that French team. I think those other players that I just mentioned are also top players that I really think were involved in France getting to the final for sure, and they 100% deserved it as well. But overall, yeah, I think even still after the World Cup, yes, Mbappe did good during the World Cup, but he's still been frauding a bit. But yeah, he is back. He had a good game today. Messi, man, this guy is just something else. The assists, the balls that he gives. Don't worry about, man, don't worry, bro. Don't worry about not being able to score goals, man, because it's literally Messi, man. Like, I'm telling you, the balls he sends through, the vision he has is just immaculate, man. It is something else, like, that you have never seen, bro. It is out of this world. I mean, the first goal, man, and sometimes you just know when Messi is gonna do something that Messi usually does. For instance, the first goal we scored, Messi is cutting inside. He sees Mbappe, or he sees, I think it was Juan Bernat making that run. You already know he's gonna do that chip over the defense because he sees Juan Bernat making that run in behind the defense. He times the chip perfectly and also elegantly in the right placement to get it to Juan Bernat. Juan Bernat with his with his inside of his foot passes to Mbappe across. Now at first I was like, bro, no ways, Mbappe, please do not continue frauding, because he missed off the volley, but then he kind of turned around, it kind of got all tangled up, and then he went on to score. But still, man, the ball, I literally knew when Messi was going here, I saw that there was like a perfect line that Angers had, and when that happens, you know, like, oh, there has to be there's gonna be a perfectly weighted through ball, like an over the top through ball. I just saw Juan Bernat making that run as well. I knew, like, Messi, you're making that diagonal run, you see Juan Bernat as well. I just knew it was the perfect moment. I knew he was gonna chip it over, and then he did, and Mbappe went on to score. The second goal, man. Now, I'm not going to say this was like something, oh, Mbappe, what a crazy thing. Messi, what a crazy thing. But this is just something that they, it's special to the player. And of course, the usual Mbappe, he's a pace merchant, man. Runs down all the way. Messi, yet again, I will say, this could be any player. Like, just because it's Messi, it's not a special pass. I think it was still a good pass, but I think because it's Messi, it's making it more of a better pass. I think the first goal was better, but it was Messi. We get the ball back, we send it to Mbappe, pace merchant. He goes around the keeper and into the back of the net. Don't quite remember this last goal here in the 87th minute, but overall, guys, I feel like PSG, we played very, very good. I think Hakimi, like, going down the wing a lot. Same with Juan Bernat. I was a bit worried that, like, oh, no Nuno Mendes and stuff, so a bit worrying there. But I mean, it was all fine. I think as I said, Juan Bernat is a player who, yes, he's a bit old and like not as like he doesn't have that physique or that strength, that stamina, you can say, because of his age and stuff. I know Ramos and Ronaldo and like Messi have the same problem, but I think for a fullback it's a bit different scenario. Like regarding Juan Bernat, as I mentioned, I think with Juan Bernat, yes, with the pace, because of him being older, he is a bit slower and less physique. But I think he's such a good. He's a good player mentally. I mean, he when he was at Bayern, even in the early days at PSG, I think he was a very solid player. And now it's like, oh, you don't need the pace. Play like by knowledge. You know, like, oh, okay, if some oh, I see the run. Let me come back for like drop back more before he makes that run, so I don't get outpaced. Otherwise, if I go to pressure, I don't pressure correctly, and then he gets past me, he's gonna get cooked. So I think maybe the mentality, the knowledge that Juan Bernat has helps him a bit, and I think the same thing goes for any player who's not that fast or slow. I feel like this really, like, this, what I'm saying here is where knowledge and mentally like kind of helps them to kind of overrule like their pace for being slow compared to other players. I think that really has to do with a team like Man City. I think I mentioned, like, for Bayern versus Man City game, I mentioned how Bayern have a very fast attack with Coleman, Leroy Sané, Alphonso Davies and stuff, and players like them. But when you look at Man City's backline, you see John Stones, you see Nathan Ake, you see Ruben Diaz. They're a bit of a slower, and Rodri, they're a bit slower. But because of the knowledge, because of the mentality they have, even maybe their height as well. Yes, they're a bit slower. I think height also has to do with them being a bit slower as well. But the knowledge and mentality that they have just helps them, like, oh, okay, I'm gonna drag back a bit more, mark that run, and then like I'll be able to catch up to him instead of pressuring him. He gets around me and he gets past me. He's not gonna make it on time. You get what I mean? So same thing goes for Juan Bernat. I was worried that Nuno Mendes wouldn't help, but it would be bad without Nuno Mendes. But Juan Bernat, as I said, the knowledge that he has is good. I really like him in attack. In defense, he is a bit fraudulent, but in attack, he is pretty solid. As I said, Hakimi down the wing as well. Messi and Mbappe doing their stuff. Ramos, guys. I mean, Danilo Pereira, what a season he had. But I just have to say Ramos, bro, for his age and for how bad our team is, at least how bad our team was, man. When you take a look at PSG, Ramos, bro, you just notice how he controls. He takes his time when we play from the back, which we do a lot. He takes his time. He waits. Like he knows how to move the ball. He knows how to switch up the play and stuff. And that's what I really love Ramos for. He's deadly in the air, whether it's like off of the opponent's cross to get the ball out, or in the opponent's box. Like when it's a cross into them and we want to score a goal, he's good in the air. Like air control, like to get the ball in the air. He's brilliant. As I said, physicality. As I said, he is a bit slow as well, but the knowledge, he knows, okay, let me start running before he runs. You get what I mean? Let me start running into my position to know, like, oh, I know he's gonna come here. I know he's gonna mark him here. Let me run there first, because if I don't run there before he does, if he gets there first, or if he gets on the move first, I'm gonna get outrun. But because of Ramos's knowledge, he knows, okay, I'm gonna start moving to that position where my opponent is gonna run to. I'm already there. I know he's gonna like do some stuff there, and like he's gonna be prepared in that area that the opponent is gonna be in. So knowledge, I think the knowledge that Ramos has will help him with the pace, the slow pace that he might have as well. He knows that, okay, let me go into my position before the opponent gets here. But overall, yeah, Donnarumma, man, I will say for sure, as a PSG fan, when you watch the PSG Weekly, man, for years and stuff, not for years, but I guess for this season, for sure. I mean, we didn't have yes, for years, but for Donnarumma specifically, when you watch him throughout this season, especially, for sure, man, I can really say that in the past few games, in the past month, bro, Donnarumma has been killing it, man. I don't know what he's been doing. I don't know what he's on. I don't know who he's been watching. He's been watching some Courtois and Yashin type stuff there, but man, this guy is out of this world crazy for us. For Donnarumma, man, I will say he is a really good keeper for us recently. But yeah, that is the PSG Angers game. Let's just take a look. Like, do I really want to talk about? I watched a bit about the Lens Monaco game. Very unfortunate. I mean, man, Openda, he's had a great month. Not even a great month, a great season, man. Lens, I think they're a very strong team. Same with Monaco. Someone's just calling. My bad. But yeah, as I mentioned, yeah, I feel like Monaco, I really like. I think both of these two teams are really passionate teams, very strong teams in the Ligue 1 as well. When we take a look at where they are in the table as well, Lens, I believe, are second or third, and Monaco are fourth. So it is a very like important, or what's the word I'm looking for? Very yeah, I guess a game that's very like important for both teams, because it's very high up in the table. Like a win would matter a lot and stuff. So yeah, I will say, yeah, very good game. Openda, man, yeah, Lens, as I mentioned, Lens, Openda, man, those runs that he makes, not just the runs. I feel like he's fast like Mbappe. He's very similar to Mbappe. Maybe not on the ball, but the runs that he makes in behind the defense, very solid. And then same thing with Monaco, man. I think Monaco are a pretty solid team as well. I mean, who do they have? Of course, Wissam Ben Yedder, Minamino, who came from Liverpool, I think, last season. Golovin. Who's that new Kamara guy? They got Kamara from, I think, RB Salzburg as well. He's very solid for them as well. Gelson Martins on the right mid. Vanderson and stuff. Youssef Fofana, of course. And then who's Kevin Alexander Nubel. I think he's on loan currently at Monaco from Bayern Munich, and I think he's had a great season so far for this Monaco team. So I think they should try to keep him, or like find someone very similar to him. Yeah, as I said, Monaco, Ben Yedder, man, like when they played PSG, I think we lost to Monaco, man, and well deserved from Monaco, because Monaco, man, they destroyed us. But yeah, that is the Ligue 1 for you right there. I want to save the Premier League for last. Serie A, I mean, nothing really much to talk about here. Late minute winner by Raspadori in the 93rd minute, 6 minute added time. I didn't watch any Serie A games like usual, but I just wanted to like have it out, because I will mention that I believe there's 36. How many? 38. So they play 30. Wait, I wonder how the heck does 38 make sense? I mean, how many teams does one team play? 19. So yeah, 19 home and away. 19 times 2, 38. So yeah, makes sense. Yeah, 38 games. So if Napoli win their next game, gets them up to 81 points, and if Lazio draw or lose, then Napoli will win the league with 6 games remaining. So if we calculate that, let's just make sure that's correct. Napoli gets 81 points. If Lazio draw their next game, up to 62 points, that's going to be a 19-point difference. They're going to have they're going to have 6 games remaining because they're going to have 32 matches played out of 38. 6 times 3 is, of course, 18, so they're going to be 1 point off from Napoli. Even if they got the same amount of points, Napoli will win on goal difference. Now, let's see. If Napoli lose all their games, let's just take a look. Like, let's say Lazio win all their games. If Lazio win all their games, how many games remaining? 7 times 3, 21 points. That brings them up to 82 points. Yeah, 82 points. All Napoli will need to do is draw 1, win 1. In terms of points, maybe draw 4, maybe win 2, but like draw 1, win 1. That's all Napoli will need to do. So yeah, I think if Napoli, yeah, I think that's it then. If Napoli, even if Napoli win the next game, even if Lazio win the next game, the week after, if Napoli win or draw one more time, if Napoli get a win or a draw, no, 2 wins. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I think if Napoli gets 2 wins at least in the next 2 games, they can somehow pull that off. I think they'll win the league. I think in the next 2-3 weeks, we will see Napoli winning the league for sure with at least 3 or 4 games in hand. But man, yeah, Napoli, I know they're out of the Champions League. They get smacked by AC Milan. They've had a killer season, man. Just the run they had, amazing, amazing. I just wanted to mention that. Same in the Bundesliga as well, man. In the Bundesliga, I mean, Bayern Munich losing to Mainz on Saturday 3-1. And now Dortmund are up in the league by 1 point. Pretty crazy. Yeah, man, I don't know what's wrong with Dortmund or with Bayern, man. I mean, we talked about it with Gareth on the last episode. I don't think it's Thomas Tuchel. I think Tuchel is or the Tuchel. I think he's a good manager. I think ever since, maybe not when he came. I think more when he came as well. But it's not really his problem. I feel like within the locker room, with the between the players themselves, had problems. Of course, the problem with Sadio Mane and Leroy Sané, and also not just that. I think the management as well, man. They've been absolutely mudded this season, man. I don't know what they're up to, but if they somehow lose the league, man, to Dortmund, I mean, it would be nice to see Dortmund finally win the league. Guys, of course, Marco Reus, for how many years he's played in the Bundesliga, has not won a Bundesliga title. So if this is somehow their year, I mean, hopefully it is, man. He deserves it, man. He deserves it. I mean, how many games are there? 18 games. So if they play 17 games, 17 times 2, that adds up to, I mean, 7 times 2, 34 games. So I believe they play, how many games does, yeah, 34 games. They're almost coming to an end, so it's going to be interesting to see. I hope that Dortmund win, man. I mean, what a Farmers League. I think this season is a bit less of a Farmers League, with teams like RB Leipzig killing it this season. Of course, we take a look here. Xabi Alonso effect coming from 17th place, carrying them up to 6th. That's pretty crazy. That's really crazy. But yeah, man, I feel like overall it's still a Farmers League, and I really hope that Dortmund finally ends the Bayern curse, or the Bayern League. Let's head over to La Liga. I want to talk about I don't want to talk about the game I don't want to talk about Madrid's game over the weekend. However, I want to talk about Madrid's game today. You see why? Because Castellanos or Castellanos, 24-year-old Argentine, who came on loan, who's currently on loan at Girona from the MLS, New York Bulls or whatever they're called. From the MLS, you're telling me that Real Madrid, for the second time in history, conceded in the La Liga, maybe I think in general, the second time in history, have conceded 4 goals to one guy, and it's a 24-year-old Argentine. No offense to the 24 and being Argentine, but from the MLS, man, from the MLS. Madrid, bro, what? Madrid, bro, what? I was like, I was mind blown, bro. It's actually crazy. Now, let's talk about the game. Let's talk about how Madrid play, because man, in the La Liga, it's so boring watching Madrid play, because there's just no passion within this Real Madrid team in the La Liga. I feel like both Ancelotti and the players know that Barcelona are probably going to go on to win the league because they've had a killer season. And for that reason, they're going to not play the best. Today, I mean, I think it was Lunin who was playing in for Thibaut Courtois. You can say that if Courtois was in net, he would 100% save like at least two of those goals that Castellanos scored, for sure. But at the same time, I'm not gonna blame it 100% on Lunin, because man, Militao literally turned into Eder Maguire, man. I feel like everybody's turned into Eder Maguire these days, man. I feel like, man, like he could have. I mean, the first goal was conceded by what was it? Was it a I think it was like a shot or something. The ball like gets tangled up here. They pass back, cross it in, and there's a header by Castellanos. The second goal, yet again, it was a cross in by, I think it was by this guy, who sends a through ball. Eder Militao, man, he should be easily marking that. But he holds this guy Castellanos, man. He uses his strength and his body to get Militao out of the way, keeps the ball. And Lunin, man, as I said, if that was Courtois, that would be easily saved. But goes past Lunin, great through, like over the top through ball into Castellanos, and very, very well played by him, being able to hold off Militao. The third goal, I think, was no, the third goal was it was like on this side, they cross it in, they do a fake, like he dummies it goes into Castellanos and then into the back of the net. And then the last goal was like, yeah, it was just off of a corner. I think they go here. It looks, and then he crosses it in, and then the Castellanos there, the header, it's in. And I feel like if this was back in like the prime Real Madrid days, was Sergio Ramos. Man, Sergio Ramos would tackle the guy on the floor. This guy would do some, like this guy would like actually try to he would jump in the air. He would go crazy, bro. Militao, you can for sure see that, like, if he was marking him better, if he was jumping in the air to block that header, he could for sure easily get the ball out. But just wasn't it for Militao. Vinny, of course, I think it was a cross in by Asensio, and then Vinny to header it in. But other than that goal, man, Vinny, bro, he's such a good player, man. He, like, the skills are like is really, really good. Of course, he has the Brazilian samba. The man, the skills, bro, the flair that this guy has, and then his ability to get past opponents, get in behind, pass into the middle where he finds players like Benzema, or for instance today Rodrigo. Brilliant. Rodrigo as well, I want to talk about him. Man, Rodrigo, especially in the Champions League, is top. He is top. However, when it comes to maybe not every La Liga game, and not necessarily every Champions League game as well, but what I don't understand about Rodrigo is he has his moments where he is the craziest player, the clutchest player as well. But then at the same time, he's not consistent, man. And today, like, he had some clear shots on net. He misses and stuff. Like, like he was good on the ball, but like shooting in the attack, like to get the ball to the back of the net is where like he wasn't consistent enough today. But overall, man, Castellanos, the second man in history to score 4 goals against Real Madrid. If you know who the first one was, then you know Lewandowski in the Champions League when he was at Borussia Dortmund back in 2013. Let's also talk about actually, before we go off of this Real Madrid conversation, I just want to mention, man, I feel like a huge reason to why Real Madrid are, like, in my opinion, I think Man City will, I mean, it's a tough one, man, but I feel like a huge reason why I see, like, I could definitely see Madrid winning. It's really hard to make a decision on who's gonna win that Madrid versus City game. But the reason I may see Madrid going through is because they don't care. They don't give like anything. They don't have passion in the La Liga. They yes, they have some of their big players, the big names, but like still, like I feel like they don't have the passion that they have when it comes to Champions League. And for that reason, you can definitely tell, like, oh, like Ancelotti, he tells the team to play like a bit like slower, a bit slow paced and stuff. You can for sure tell that when Real Madrid plays in the La Liga, it's definitely not the same thing as when Man City plays in the Premier League. And that's the reason, is because Man City are fighting for the title. They are very close to getting back into that title race. I mean, tomorrow we have Arsenal and Man City. We'll talk about that at the end. But for Real Madrid, it's like they already know the league's over. They want to focus. They're more of a European. I mean, just in general, man. Like, I feel like if this was Prime Madrid, like with Ronaldo and stuff, they would for sure try in the La Liga and try to get a 9-point comeback against Barcelona. But I feel like still, Madrid are not a team who like to. They're still a team who want to achieve glory every season. But in Spain, especially, I think Madrid are a team who want to gain glory in a European competition, in a global in a global stance, and that's why I always say Barcelona within Spain, within the La Liga, within in the Copa del Reyes, in Spain, like in the La Liga league specifically, I always say Barcelona are clear of Real Madrid. But when it comes to European glory and global glory, Real Madrid are clear of Barcelona. And for that, and that's the main reason I said, I think I mentioned that Madrid are a team who want to achieve glory more in a global and a European stance instead of a international stance within Spain. And that's why I always say Barcelona are a team. Barcelona are the better team within Spain, but within Europe and globally, Real Madrid are clear for me. That's my stance. That's what I think about both Barcelona and Spain within the La Liga and their achievements. I think at the end of the day, both teams are gonna want to achieve glory in anything, but in the La Liga, in the Copa del Rey, in Club World Cup, in Champions League, in Europa League, whatever the trophy, in the Super Copa, or not Super Copa, but in the Super Cup, between the Europa League winner and the Champions League winner. Both clubs, any club is going to want to achieve that glory. But I think Madrid's main goal is European and global glory. However, Barcelona's main goal, I mean, the past few seasons they've been bad anyway, so not really any since 2015, man. They haven't won a UCL since 2015 or 2014. So for Barcelona, it's a different story about European glory, but within Spain, I think Barcelona are better. If we take a look, I mean, who last season Real Madrid won. The season before, Atletico de Madrid won, but then Real Madrid, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Barcelona. I think Barcelona overall are a team who are more like looking for, maybe not looking for glory, but who have glory and have achieved glory in Spain. However, Madrid are a team who are looking for glory and have achieved glory outside of Spain, in Europe and globally as well. So that's my thoughts there. Let's go over, before we go off to La Liga, let's also talk about Barcelona, Atletico de Madrid. Man, Antoine Griezmann, bro, this guy is a different gravy, man. The shots he had, very unlucky I think it was in the first 5 minutes. He had a nice left-footed curl. Just it went past over top of Marc-André ter Stegen, hit the bar, went down, but unfortunately went down and out instead of down and in. So unlucky there. But man, Lewandowski, man, there's a few chances that Lewandowski had. I mean, there was one chance where he goes down the wing. He does like a power, not really like a power, but he tries to hit it hard to get into the box. And Rafinha, man, he just throws. There was also one play towards the end of the game. I think it was Balde who sends the ball through to Lewandowski. He's onside as well. It's a one-on-one with the keeper. He has Rafinha wide and onside as well, but he doesn't pass to him. He tries to take a shot. It goes wide. He could have easily passed it to Rafinha. It could have been the easy goal. I don't know what he was doing, but yeah, this game I didn't really watch a lot, so not really gonna talk about that. But yeah, that is the La Liga right there for you guys. FA Cup, let's go talk about the FA Cup. I mean, I didn't really watch any of the games here as well. I saw a few of the highlights. I'm not going to talk about Man City, but Brighton and United. I do not know how Brighton or United didn't beat Brighton in 90 minutes. To be fair, Brighton are a good team. I think they're top 6 in it. They're top 6 in the Prem. Top 8. They're top 8. They still have 2 games in hand as well, like compared to the teams like to Liverpool and 3 games in hand compared to Spurs and stuff. So they can easily come into the top 6 into a European qualification like spot. So I think Brighton are a pretty good team this season. Man, this Sanchez, bro, this guy killed it, man. This guy was insane, bro. Today, like, I don't know what he was on. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, bro. For how good Mitoma is, no one is getting past Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I think for me, guys, like, I know I did a Premier League thoughts last season, or last week. Unfortunately, Aaron Wan-Bissaka was not in the vote. But man, after watching that game, bro, it could have been one game, not just one game. I feel like in general, bro, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, what a player, bro. The way he's able to block the ball. He was like, there's even one, I saw one clip where Mitoma was dribbling past him. He got past, like, Wan-Bissaka wasn't really trying. He let him get a bit past. And then Wan-Bissaka just comes back, gets in front of it, gets his foot, like, gets it around him, and then, man, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, what a player. But yeah, nothing much to say here either. There's going to be one game I want to talk about. And then we're going to make some prediction for Arsenal game tomorrow. Go on to the news and then end it off with the Bundesliga Spurs game. And we'll see. Does footy tic-tac-toe? Footy tic-tac-toe. Let's see. Oh no, this is normal tic-tac-toe, mate. But how slow my Google Chrome is for some reason. Yeah, my bad, guys. Anyways, we are back here. Yeah, let's just talk about one game here, make some predictions for tomorrow. Let it load, let it load. Wait. "21 minutes. Newcastle scored 5 goals against a Big 6 club. Bro, man. Bro, and it wasn't even lucky goals. It was good, a well-played pass and go. How I like it, man. I love the pass and go, man. As Johan Cruyff says, man. Pass and go. There's a quote that Johan Cruyff said. I'll show it to you guys as well. Let's get it up here. I want to show you guys. I really want to show you guys what Johan Cruyff says. And I love this way of football. I love playing football this way. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Yeah, so over here. So Johan Cruyff talks about technique. Technique is not being able to juggle a ball 1,000 times. Anyone can do that by practicing. Then go and work in a circus. Technique is about passing the ball with one touch, with the right speed at the right time, to the correct foot of your teammate. Pass and go. Tiki taka. Pep Guardiola, Johan Cruyff, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and in this game here in Newcastle, the way that they moved the ball, so elegant. The way they were able to control the ball, and maybe not control it, but the way they were able to keep possession of the ball, move it, pass it around. Brilliant play by Newcastle. The first goal, what a goal as well, man. What a goal, what a build up play by Bruno Guimaraes. They play the ball, it goes back and forth within the air and stuff. Spurs aren't able to control it well. And finally, it's Newcastle get control, goes out wide to Joelinton. Pass it to Bruno Guimaraes. He does some he does like some nice small touches, like some La Croquetas around. Takes a shot, saved by Hugo Lloris. It rebounds off and is Joe, or what's his name? Is it Jacob Murphy? Joe Murphy, guys, Joe Mama. But it's Jacob Murphy with a brilliant, not a brilliant, but like with the rebound, but a brilliant build up by Bruno Guimaraes, the best Bruno in the Prem. This goal here in the 6th minute by Joelinton, beautiful. I think it was by Kieran Trippier or Longstaff. They get the ball, it rebounds back to them. He sees the through ball into Joelinton, very similar to the goal. Who was it? I don't quite remember. I think it was a goal. The Real Madrid goal that it is very similar to the Ginora goal, or yeah, I think it's Girona goal that Castellanos scored today. I think it was the third goal. The second goal. It was the second goal that he scored today. Very, very similar. Threw ball in to Joelinton, the Brazilian. Controls it well. Around Hugo Lloris into the back of the net. In the 9th minute is Jacob Murphy, who scores a screamer, bro. A screamer. I don't quite remember how the ball got to him, but then he shoots it out. It's like dangling around here. He shoots it all the way from out here, past Hugo Lloris. And then in the 19th minute, it's Alexander Isak. Which goal was this? Don't quite remember this goal. But then in the 21st minute, it's another goal. It's a quick build-up play to Longstaff, to Jacob Murphy, cuts inside to Alexander Isak. He does like a La Croqueta small touch around Hugo Lloris far post. Oh, the way that they built up in those first 20 minutes, pass and go, able to find each other, move the ball fast and quick. Man, what a game for Newcastle! What a game! And Spurs, man, they were in the mud. Yeah, that's pretty much all. I saw the goals, not really much the game. Let's just make a quick prediction for tomorrow. Man City, Arsenal. I think, in my opinion, if Man City win this game, I think it's over for Arsenal. But if somehow in the heavens, if somehow God helps Arsenal, even if it's a draw, I think a draw is not the best. I think like even if it's a draw, even if it's a win, I still think that Man City will win the league, even if Arsenal somehow are able to win. First of all, I think Man City will win this game tomorrow. If Arsenal win, I think Man City will still come back and win, because man, Arsenal's form recently, having I think it was against Liverpool 3 weeks ago at Anfield, they're 2-0 up and they bottle it. And honestly, Liverpool should have won at the end in the second half as well. They dominated. West Ham 2-0 up against West Ham, lose. last week or this weekend against Southampton, losing 3-1. They came back, but still they were getting destroyed by 17th place Southampton. Very, very bad. And for that instance, I feel like the form that Arsenal currently have helps Man City, favors Man City to win this game. But if somehow Arsenal do win this game, I think that because of the form they still have, like, yeah, I don't know, they're still gonna somehow bottle it. That is my thought there. Guys, let's go look at some. Actually, I don't know if we'll look at football news today. 40 minutes. Let's just keep it shorter for today's podcast. Let's go ahead and talk about the Bundesliga team of the season. In my opinion, we're using EA Sports FC nominees. Now, I will mention some goalkeepers or some players that are not mentioned here who should have been mentioned, but because it's EA Sports, they don't mention them. For me, I think team of the season, goalkeeper for the Bundesliga. I think both Manuel Neuer, yes, he's been injured. I think he still has to be mentioned, as well as Jan Sommer. I think he also has to be mentioned. But I mean, Kobel, man, I know, like, man, I mean, Dortmund are they're doing good in the Bundesliga this season. Let's take a look. Like, how many goals have they conceded this season? $66 goals scored. They have a 29 goal difference. So what is that? About 30-ish goals scored against them? That's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. But still, overall, like, they're top of the league and stuff, have a chance to finally win. I think personally, I would give it to Manuel Neuer still, but because he's injured, he's not on the list as well. I think we'll put Kobel in because of Dortmund being in first place. But personally, I think I think we'll put in Kobel. I think for me, Manuel Neuer is my Bundesliga team of the season player. But then I think Kobel and Jan Sommer deserve a shout out. For me, left back Alphonso Davies against City. He got cooked, but I think I'm still going to be putting Alphonso Davies. De Ligt, man, the beast. Frimpong, we're going to be putting him. He's had a good season for sure. Solid player for Bayern Leverkusen, who have made it from 17th place all the way up to 6th place in the Bundesliga. Crazy comeback. And Pavard, man. I think Pavard has also had a pretty good season. Players I'd like to mention, honorable mentions. I think Guerrero. I think Schlotterbeck. Other players as well. Upamecano. No, I'm joking. Not Upamecano. Definitely not Upamecano. But I think I don't watch a bunch of Bundesliga either, so there could be players like I don't know that I'm not mentioning, like, for honorable mentions, not mentioned on this list. So Schlotterbeck and Guerrero for sure. I think that's pretty much it for what I know. That is pretty good there. In the midfield, Kimmich, man, a beast, an absolute beast. Musiala, Jude Bellingham. Honorable mentions here for me, Thomas Muller, man. Whatever he says on TikTok, he posts a video on TikTok. He says, "Oh, Paris Saint-Germain, au revoir." In La Champions League, he says something to Barcelona. He says anything to the opposite, to the opposing team, he cooks you. The next day, when it comes to the game day, Bayern cooks you, bro. Whatever Thomas Muller says. So Thomas Muller curse is real. But I think Musiala, Kimmich, and Jude Bellingham. Who else? Leroy Sané, not the worst. Is Mane in here? I mean, Mane hasn't had the best season either, but I think he deserves a pretty decent shout. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me there in the Midfielders in the attack: Diaby, 100%. I don't know about Diaby. Thuram, 100%. Golomwani. Fulkerg, man, I've heard his name. I've seen him had a few good seasons, a few good like games this season as well. When I look on FOTMob, I think Diaby and Nkunku both deserve a shout as well. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. My ball knowledge in the Bundesliga is negative, bro. I don't know much about the Bundesliga. I've seen some games here and there, and most of my knowledge on these players come from the Champions League as well. I mean, Kobel, I think I really mainly selected him due to like Dortmund being in the top, of course. I mean, I selected Manuel Neuer even in the Champions League in the Bundesliga. Man, Manuel Neuer, world class keeper. And then I think second for me would be Kobel, and then third is gonna be Jan Sommer because man, I hate Jan Sommer. He's so bad on the ball, man. So overrated, man. Especially like I don't know why they signed. I don't know why Bayern decided to sign him. In the midfield, man, Kimmich is just something else. Everybody knows that. I've seen a few of his games here and there, like in against Bayern, against Leverkusen and stuff, and of course against PSG. Man, Kimmich is something else. Same with Musiala against Man City, against PSG, and then same with Jude Bellingham against Chelsea, of course, and against Bayern this season as well. The back line, of course, Davies, my Canadian GOAT. I think he's had a good season. De Ligt, man, of course, you already know for PSG. And just in general, I've seen some highlights. I see some clips of De Ligt being like a beast in the back line for Bayern. Pavard, he's had a pretty good season, both in the World Cup and for Bayern. And then Jeremy Frimpong, the youngster. In the attack, man, Kolomwani, I think him, Marcus Thuram. He's had a pretty good season in the Bundesliga. That is my Bundesliga team of the season. Guys, if you went on to enjoy today's episode, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Yeah, sorry for the Tots team of the season, Bundesliga votes, like my prediction. As I said, my knowledge on the Bundesliga is literally negative. I don't know much about the Bundesliga. But yeah, I think next week we'll have Serie A team of the season. I think that I'll for sure have more knowledge on. But yeah, we talked about some of the games. I think next episode will be on tomorrow. We have Arsenal and Man City, of course. Thursday we have Spurs United. Should be pretty good as well. Saturday we have nothing really. Sunday we have Liverpool Spurs. And also PSG. And possibly Napoli winning the league. Maybe Monday or Sunday, like next Monday or next Sunday, we'll do another podcast episode. If there's something I want to talk about, I'll for sure come on the podcast, like maybe on Thursday or Friday or whatever. If I want to, maybe even tomorrow, like if I want to talk about something, I will. But I think for now, as it stands, I think next Sunday or Monday will be the next podcast. Guys, have a good one. Stay positive, stay happy, stay flow, and I'll see you later. Peace. Have a good one.